welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher. So let's jump right into it. We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. What is going on, guys? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and I want to thank you guys for joining me for another video here on the channel. Today we have a good one. We're checking out the biggest and best eBay sales over the past week, February 10th, 2023. What we're going to do is we're going to dive into what these books sold for. We're going to check GPA, see what the last sales were before this, and of course talk about a little bit if these books are worth buying here at these prices. But before we get started, like always, guys, I want to remind you, if you're not a current subscriber of the channel, do me a favor, go ahead, click that subscribe button for me, smash the hell out of that like button. Let's get this video up to 200 likes if we can, so everyone out there in the community can enjoy it. And lastly, if you haven't checked out my giveaway for this month, once we get to 4,000 subs, I'm giving away a Diamond Select Toys Thanos diorama. I can't freaking wait to give this statue away. With that said, let's get into this video. The first book I want to take a look at is this CGC 6.0 Off-White to White Pages X-Men #1. This book was at auction and finally sold on February 9th, 2023. It sold for $20,303 flat on 45 bids. As we get into the GPA analysis, the last sale they already have recorded for this book was this $20,303 book. The 90-day average for this book is $20,952 on 2 sales. So it's down about $900 off this sale. The 12-month rolling average is $24,765 on 8 sales. The whole 2022 average is $26,428 on 8 sales. And way back in 2021, at the height of mass hysteria, it was $33,729. All the way down to $20,000. Are we starting to see this book bottoming right now? All I can tell you, that's about a 33% drop all the way down to $20,000. Again, if you're willing to hold this book into the long term, I have it as one of my best investments out there. If you guys haven't watched my comic book investment hierarchy video, this one is in part 2. Definitely one of the books I want to own for the long term. If you're comfortable going in and jumping in at this price, I think it's a great buy. However, you don't need to go out and buy a 6.0. Let's get a lower grade. This way, if you're more comfortable going in at these high prices, it's a little easier for you guys. Regardless, let's get talking about the next one. This was another book that caught my eye, guys. It is a giant size X-Men #1 at a CGC 9.6 that sold on February 6, 2023 for $13,100 on 10 bids. I know this book is extremely popular out there in the community. As we go to the GPA analysis, you guys can see that last sale of this book has already been recorded, but the 90-day average for this one is $11,775 on 4 sales. So this book sold for over the 90-day average. The 12-month rolling average is $14,322 on 27 sales, quite a few of them. The 2022 average was $15,311 on 28 sales, and all the way back in 2021, it was $18,565 on 12 sales, believe it or not. Either way, this book is up. I'm a little shocked at this, considering there are a lot more copies of this book available compared to the regular X-Men 1, which is down still a little bit. If I had to pick between the two, you know I'm going with the X-Men 1. I always trump silver over these, Bronze Age books. I do think they're better buys. There's less of them out there to boot. I know this is a massive keep, considering it's the first new X-Men team, the second Wolverine. Regardless, this is a monster price to pay. Has this book bottomed? You guys tell me. I think we may have seen the bottom in this one, hopefully. Regardless, not too bad. I think they really must have wanted this book. Guess what? The next book, you guessed it, back to an X-Men #1, this time at a CGC 4.0 Off-White Pages. Of course, this one sold on February 9th, 2023 for $11,699 on 42 bids. So another auction, guys. Again, an Off-White Pager as well. As we get into the GPA analysis, just like before, the last sale, this one has been recorded already for this price. But the 90-day average for this book, guys, was $10,849. I want to get into it a little bit about why this 4.0 is up over the average as the 6.0 is down. Again, that was on 2 sales. The 12-month rolling average was $13,820 on 15 sales. The 2022 average was $14,273 also on 15 sales. And way back in 2021, it was $15,153 on 20 sales. So as I was saying before, guys, when we get into the lower grades, and this one is still about a mid-grader to 4.0, my sweet spot for these Silver Age books are 2.0 to about 4.5. And I usually tend to think that they sell better and they get more bids on them because there are more people out there who can go out and afford these lower grade copies. As you start to get in the higher grades, you're starting to talk about a lot more money. Not a lot of people want to go out there and shell out a ton of money for a high to mid to high grade copy of these books. You will always have more buyers for the lower grades. So that's why I think these last sales are higher than the 90-day averages for this book. So keep that in mind. If you're looking to go out and get some of these Silver Age keys that are getting crushed right now, it may be a good time, especially in the lower grades. And I wanted to highlight this on this part of the video. All right, I couldn't pass this one up. This one caught my attention. It is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man #1, graded at a CGC 2.5, off-white to white pages. This one sold on February 3rd, 2023. Now, this one's a little bit different because a best offer was accepted on eBay. It was listed for $11,499. Now, unfortunately, we don't know what the seller sold this book for. We probably know that they had to pay tax, but as we get into the last sale data recorded by GPA was all the way back in December of 2022 for $10,100. The 90-day average was $8,900 on 2 sales. Now, I'm going to stop right here because I know Bryce Comics just had a 2.5 that he was offering for $8,500 using that 90-day average as the sale price. Now, again, we don't know what this seller paid. He could have paid $11,000. He could have paid $10,000. Regardless, I think it's probably more closer in line with the last sale from December. The 12-month rolling average for this book was $10,178 on 10 sales. The 2022 average was $10,562 on 11 sales. And all the way back in 2021, there were only 3 sales for this book, and it went for $9,234. The big thing that jumps out to me is this book has really stayed steady, right? We went from $9,000 in 2021, and at this grade point in 2022, $10,562. It was up. Then the 12-month rolling was around the same price, around 10 grand. The 90-day dropped to $8,900. So I'm shocked that we had a couple of books listed for around $8,500, and now all of a sudden last sale back up to 10 grand. Seeing that this book was listed for $11,499, I can safely say I think this book was definitely sold for over $10,000, probably with tax. So again, this book is holding up pretty well in a low grade. I know there's a piece missing at a top right-hand corner. Regardless, it still presents pretty well for this book. Not sure why it was given such a high grade with that piece missing at 2.5. Not sure I agree with it. Regardless, I think Amazing Spider-Man #1 is holding pretty well. If you can get one, I think for under 9 grand, I think it's a great deal if you can find one. The next book we're going to talk about is a massive one. It is a copy of Incredible Hulk #181 at a CGC 8.5 off-white to white pager. Now, this book was sold on February 3rd, 2023 for $7,999.99. Now, of course, I don't know if this is just a straight buy it now because it doesn't look like it's an auction. It was shipped from Canada and it has not been recorded on GPA. The last sale from GPA was $7,500 from February 2023. Now, there could have been another $7,500 sale after this one sold. That is possible. Regardless, the 90-day average for this book was $7,100 on 4 sales. The 12-month rolling average was $8,273 on 38 sales. That to me is actually remarkable. The 2022 average was $8,399 on 40 sales, and the 2021 average all the way back then was $8,495. So again, another grade level 8.5 on a Hulk 181 holding its own. We have just about an $8,000 sale about a week ago, and then maybe another $7,500. At the height of the market, 2021, an 8.5 was only at $8,500. So that is actually pretty good. We're talking about $500 to $1,000 off its high from the height of the market. That tells me there are people out there who want to own this book in high grade. I know we just had a 9.8 sale of this book that actually lost about 50%. But if you look at some of the other grade point averages of this Hulk 181, they're actually holding up pretty well, especially this 8.5 right here. Again, if you want to go out and buy this book, I always say to you guys, you got to buy it in higher grades because I think there's so many copies out there. I think we're just talking about 16 or 17,000 that have been graded by CGC, not to mention all the raw copies out there as well. You know, I'm only a fan of buying this book with the Marvel stamp, but if you're in the market for this book, make sure you're looking at the analysis and finding out which books at which grades are holding up the best. Again, I think around this price range is where most people want to be when they're buying it, so keep that in mind. And the last book we're going to look at today was this Green Lantern number 87 and a crazy CGC 9.8, the first appearance of John Stewart. Now, again, this book in a 9.8, I can't tell you how hard it is probably to find. Again, it is a white square-bound book. Crazy that this book even exists at a 9.8. Regardless, guys, we had a sale of a 9.8 off-white pager that was sold on February 6, 2023. This book sold for $8,080 on 27 bids. Again, another auction. As we get into the detailed GPA analysis, the last sale they have recorded of this book for $80.80, but the 90-day average, guys, look at it, $11,027 on 3 sales. So that means that this book or another 9.8 out there sold 3 times within the last 90 days. And it's down $3,000 off that average. Now, did we get some FOMO over the past 3 months? Possibly, but regardless, I think whoever bought this book got an absolute steal, $3,000 off the high. The 12-month rolling average was $10,895 on 4 sales. The 2022 average was $12,500 on 2 sales, and there were no sales of a 9.8 in 2021. Again, this remains to be seen if this was a great buy. Regardless, we're talking about $3,000 off the 90-day average. If it was me and I purchased this book, I'd probably looking to flip it right now, see if I can get that $11,000 mark back, only because I don't know if you're ever going to get 33% on your money just like that, especially with the news now that these characters are coming to their own HBO Max Plus show in the future. Regardless, I think it's a pretty decent book right now. You don't need to own a 9.8, obviously, if you want to pick up this book and they do the character justice in that show, it will be a great buy. I definitely highly suggest picking this one up in lower grades, obviously. All right, I know I said that was the last one, but I have one more thing to show you guys. And when I saw this, I could not believe what I was seeing. So we have a Batman 1, the back cover only, that sold this past week. Cover only. You don't see the back of these things come up for sale often. All right, guys. Like I said, sold February 7, 2023. Now, the best offer was accepted, was listed at $12,500. So I'm assuming they paid over $10,000 for this thing. But let's check out the GPA analysis. The last sale was February 2023 for $9,500. So maybe they paid $9,500 for it and it got recorded. Not too sure. Regardless, the 90-day average, again, was only 1 sale for all of 90 days. This was it. The 12-month rolling average. There's actually another copy of the back cover of this book that sold, a CGC cover copy, for $9,789. The 2022 average, only 1 sold for $10,077. And of course, 2021, 1 came up available for $11,400. Now, I have to assume whoever is buying this thing is probably buying it to marry a copy that doesn't have a back cover. Possibly, I'm thinking maybe that, or they would just want to have this nice thing available in their collection. I have no idea. Regardless, just the back cover selling for $10,000 is remarkable, and I had to show it to you guys. You don't see these things come up very often. Once a year, it looks like, so I had to put it up there just to show you guys. That's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments. You guys want to see this every week, going into recent sales on eBay and see what these people pay for these books, especially the bigger keys, because as you can see, there are certain grade point averages that sell better than other grade point averages of certain books. Some are still falling, some are starting to rebound. I think it gives us a little bit of an insight on what's going on in the comic market, especially when we talk about these big blue chip comic book keys. Drop me comments down below. Let me know what you think. Like always, this is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.